But then I stepped over. I stepped over, and I was the dominant parent too, though. You understand what I'm saying?
So what was her complaint? Like, what was her complaint with you? Like, okay, because I know obviously it seemed like it was.
Hey, listen, we need to get Melody right here now, okay? Whatever her complaints, so we got to ask her that shit.
Serious.
You know, it's crazy how some stories stay buried for years until they can't be hidden anymore. And right now, that's exactly what's happening with Martell Holt. For so long, the spotlight followed him for all the usual reality show drama, the affairs, the fights, the divorce, the back and forth with Melody. But this time, it's not about a TV argument or some tabloid headline. It's something deeper. It's real. It's painful. And honestly, it's something Martell didn't want anyone to know. But now the silence is breaking. At first, people thought it was just a random car accident. Something that could happen to anyone. But the moment fans started digging, the pieces didn't add up. This wasn't Martell's first time being reckless behind the wheel.
Because I wasn't unfaithful until certain things stopped. Martell's not a cheater, what everybody's saying. No, I never was a cheater.
There were old rumors, past whispers, strange Instagram lives where he looked distracted while driving. People brushed it off back then. Maybe he was just being careless. Maybe he was stressed. But now, it's starting to look like a pattern and a dangerous one.
They're not missing out on anything. You follow me?
Yeah.
Let's be real, if what Kayla said is true, then this wasn't just an accident. It was a warning that nobody listened to. Imagine being behind someone on the road, and out of nowhere, they swerve, lose control, and crash hard into a ditch. Then, within minutes, two black SUVs pull up, men in dark clothes step out, and instead of checking for injuries, they take over the scene. No sirens, no police, just silence. That's not normal. That's not how regular people get treated. That's what happens when someone with power is trying to hide something. And then, hearing from Rico, someone who says he was actually called to help clean it all up, just adds a whole new layer. This wasn't a rumor anymore.
I think it's unknown territory right now for, I guess, us as a whole, you know?
It was a cover-up. A quiet, behind-the-scenes effort to make a bad mistake disappear. Rico described Martell as pacing, shaking, desperate. Saying things like, "This can't get out, not again." That one line says everything. Because that means this wasn't the first time. And it means he knew just how bad it would be if the truth ever reached the public. According to Rico, this isn't a one-time mistake. He says Martell has dodged accountability for years. Accidents. Incidents. Moments that could have gone very differently. Times he flipped the script and made himself the victim. He says Martell knows how to spin a story, control the narrative, and erase what doesn't fit. Think about that. NDAs for friends. Silence from people he hurt. Footage disappearing. Posts being deleted. Carefully planned timelines. That's not just being private, that's strategy. That's someone trying to protect an image at all costs.
I was very expressive. That's one thing about it. Something somebody would say to me, "Well, did you tell your mate?" "Yeah, I told her. We talked about it."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I just started doing something careless like that, you know?
And here's where it hits the hardest: the people around him knew. Maybe not everything, but enough. Some were too scared to speak. Others felt it wasn't their place. Maybe a few were even paid to keep quiet. But Kayla? She had nothing to gain. She came forward because, in her words, someone had to say something. And once she did, everything started to unravel. Even Martell couldn't stay quiet. He tried, at first. That black screen with white text on Instagram? Lies can't live forever. Truth always wins. That wasn't a denial. That wasn't even a defense. That was a warning shot. But fans weren't buying it. Then came the interview, low-key, aired late at night. And for once, Martell didn't seem like the smooth talker we're used to seeing. He looked tired. Worn down. Not angry, just unsure. He didn't confirm the crash. He didn't admit to everything. But he did say something important: "I've made mistakes." I hurt people I should have protected. That one line showed more truth than he's shared in years. But still, when asked about Kayla and Rico, he brushed it off. People will say anything to stay relevant. That felt cold. Like he still wasn't ready to face the full truth. And just when things couldn't get more tense, Melody spoke up. She didn't mention Martell by name. She didn't need to. Her tweets said enough. It always comes out eventually. And later, silence doesn't mean clean hands. Just means good PR. Now fans are wondering, did Melody know about the crash back in 2020? Did she protect him, too, to keep the peace? Or was she just trying to move on quietly while Martell kept spinning his own version of the truth? Whatever the case, one thing is clear: the mask is slipping. And what's underneath is a man who's been hiding behind a carefully crafted image for way too long. This story isn't about one crash. It's about a pattern. About choices. About a man who's been playing with fire and finally got burned. So, where do we go from here? What happens next? Will Martell finally come clean, really clean, and take full responsibility? Will more people from his past step forward with their own stories? Will he try to spin this again, or finally face what's been chasing him for years? And what about the people who were hurt, silenced, or ignored along the way? Do they finally get the truth they deserve? That's where you come in. Let's talk about it. What do you believe happened that night near Decatur? Do you think Kayla was telling the truth? Does Rico's story line up with what we've seen from Martell over the years? Or is there still another layer no one's dared to speak about yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be honest. Be respectful. But don't be silent, because silence is what let this story stay hidden for so long. If you made it this far, thank you. This story wasn't easy to tell, but it needed to be told. If you feel like the truth matters, give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next part, because trust me, this isn't over. So now, here we are. After everything, the rumors, the live videos, the deleted posts, and the stories that just wouldn't stay buried, it feels like the truth about Martell Holt is finally starting to come out. And it's not just about a car crash anymore. It's about years of silence. Years of trying to protect an image while things behind the scenes were falling apart. For a long time, Martell gave us one version of himself: the businessman, the father, the guy looking for redemption after some mistakes. But if what Kayla and Rico are saying is true, then there's a whole other side we haven't seen. One filled with cover-ups, secrecy, and a lot of people too scared or too loyal to speak up. Think about this: a crash in 2020 that barely anyone talked about. Eyewitnesses who stayed quiet until now. Deleted footage. Deleted posts. Private tow trucks. People showing up in the middle of the night to clean up the scene. None of that is normal. That's not just a bad night, that's someone working hard to keep the truth from getting out. And now that it is out, the cracks are showing. Martell tried to respond without really responding. A vague post on Instagram, no real explanation. Then a quiet interview, late at night, where he looked nothing like the confident man we usually see. He didn't exactly deny what happened. He admitted to mistakes. He said he hurt people. But he also tried to play it off, saying, people will say anything to stay relevant. That doesn't feel like someone being honest. That feels like someone still trying to protect what's left of their image. And then there's Melody. She didn't name names, but her tweets said everything. It always comes out eventually. Silence doesn't mean clean hands, just good PR. Those weren't random. Those were carefully timed. And it made a lot of people wonder, how much did she know? Has she been keeping secrets, too? What we're seeing now is the start of something bigger. Because when one person speaks up, it gives others the courage to do the same. And the more people talk, the harder it is to keep the truth hidden. So now, it's your turn to decide. Do you believe Kayla's story? Does Rico's version sound like the Martell Holt we've all watched over the years? Or do you think there's even more we haven't heard yet? Because honestly, it feels like we're only scratching the surface. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation not just about Martell, but about how easily fame and image can cover up the truth. If you made it this far, thank you. These stories are not always easy to tell, but they matter. The truth matters. And it deserves to be heard. Make sure to like this video if it opened your eyes. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date because this story isn't over. And I have a feeling more people are going to come forward soon. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay honest, and never forget, the truth always finds a way out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation not just about Martell, but about how easily fame and image can cover up the truth. If you made it this far, thank you. These stories are not always easy to tell, but they matter. The truth matters. And it deserves to be heard. Make sure to like this video if it opened your eyes. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date because this story isn't over. And I have a feeling more people are going to come forward soon. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay honest, and never forget, the truth always finds a way out.